الحمد لله وكفى وسلام على عباده الذين اصطفى أما بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وما أرسلناك إلا رحمة للعالمين اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم. Imam Azam Abu Hanifa rahmatullah alayhi, he gave a few advices to his son Ahmad. The 10th advice that he gave to his son was that you should meet people by initiating salam. That you should meet people by initiating salam. You should be excellent in your speech. You should show affection to people of righteousness, and you should be diplomatic and tactful with the people of shar, with the people of evil. So there are four things mentioned in this advice. It's about meeting people. And this advice is not just about manners and adab and etiquettes. It's about human relationships. Allah Ta'ala sent the Prophet ﷺ as a mercy for all of humanity. So this advice is about how to meet people. Very practical, very relevant. We meet people, all types of different people every day. There are four prophetic qualities, four prophetic principles to remember. We must learn how to meet people based upon these four prophetic qualities. Number one, to initiate salam. Whenever you meet a Muslim, you initiate salam. Number two, that you are excellent in your speech. You choose the words which are the best, top quality. And number three, third, is that you love the people of goodness, love the people of righteousness, people of piety, show affection to them when you meet them. And number four, when you have to meet difficult people, because all of us, we sometimes have to meet people who are difficult. So you interact with them with wisdom, with tact, with diplomacy. So inshallah, we're going to briefly describe each one of them, each one of these four prophetic qualities. The first is to meet people and say salam to them. Initiate salam. Salam is not just a greeting, it's actually a dua. When you say Assalamu alaikum, what we're actually saying is that may Allah Ta'ala grant you safety, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant you peace, protection, care. It's a gift that you're giving to the other person. In English, we have different types of greetings: hello, hi, good morning. This is very unique in Islam that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us a dua, that you're giving a gift to the other person. We never thought about salam like this, that you're actually giving a hadiyah, a gift to the other person. And it's a gift which spreads love and it removes barriers. In one hadith, the Prophet ﷺ said that you will not enter Jannat until you believe. And you will not be able to fully believe until you love one another. You have mutual love for each other. And then the Prophet ﷺ said that, shall I tell you something that will make you increase in your mutual love? That will help you love one another more? Afshu salam bainakum. Spread salam among yourself. This will melt the hardness. This will increase mutual love. It opens the heart. It removes the suspicion. Once there was a man who came and asked the Prophet ﷺ that which Islam is the best? Which Islam is the best? And the Prophet ﷺ said that feed people and give salam to those whom you know and those whom you even don't know. You don't even know them. Everyone. Normally we give salam to only those whom we know. And this is actually mentioned as one of the signs of the end of time, that people will only give salam to those whom they know. They won't give salam to those whom they don't know. We don't want to be a sign of the end of time. Give salam to everyone. And initiate salam. Initiate salam means that you are humble. It's a sign of sincerity. That's why in one hadith the Prophet ﷺ said that the person who initiates salam, they're free from kibr, free from pride. We can work this backwards, that if we have a habit of initiating salam, this will remove the arrogance and pride and takabbur and kibr within us. And the reward for initiating salam is more than replying to that salam. The person who says salam first, they get more reward. Once the Prophet ﷺ, he said that when a person is passing by a group of people and he says salam to them, he receives ajr on that. If they respond, they also share in that reward. But the person who said salam first, he gets the greatest ajr. And we should try to say the full salam. Assalamu alaikum. Once there was a person who said Assalamu alaikum, the Prophet ﷺ said 10. Another person came, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. The Prophet ﷺ said 20. And then there was a third person who came, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. The Prophet ﷺ said 30. We need 30 reward for this person. This is the limit. Actually, some people, they go beyond the barakatuh. Wa maghfiratuhu. This is the limit. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It ends here. There is no fourth. This is the sunnah, the masnoon salam. Some people, they add a few other things. But the sunnah and the masnoon is these three. We should try to say salam, the full salam. Like we said, that salam is a gift. It's a dua that you're giving to the other person. It's a gift that you're giving to the other person. And imagine 10 rewards, 20 rewards, 30 rewards. You're carrying reward in your pocket wherever you go, just by saying salam. Once Sayyidina Umar bin Khattab radiyallahu ta'ala an, it's mentioned about him that he would greet children on the street with salam. And someone asked why? Because Islam is for everyone. You're not supposed to greet only those who are elders. Even if someone is younger than you, children, you greet them with salam as well. Salam is not reserved for the elite. that only those who are elite class, we say salam. This is a dua which is meant for everyone. This is the true democracy that we have in our deen. For everyone. Say salam. Whether you know them, you don't know them, you recognize them, you don't recognize them, they're your acquaintance, not your acquaintance, we should spread salam. This was the sunnah of Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam. Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam, he would, it's mentioned about him that the Prophet says he would notice individuals who used to be isolated or who were overlooked, and he would greet them first. He would ask about them. He would make them feel secure. And one of the Sahabi, he later said that whenever the Prophet ﷺ said salam to me, I felt as if the whole dunya belonged to me. And he, that one expression of love, it was so immense that the Sahabi says that I thought that the whole dunya belonged to me when I got that one salam from the Prophet ﷺ. Some people, they're just starving for that one jumla, one sentence from us. One salam that we say to the other person, it can rescue them from the disease of depression. You don't understand. There's so many people who are depressed, who are living a life of loneliness, a life of emptiness, a life of vacuum, no one to talk to, no one to speak to. One salam with love that you say to them, it's enough to bring them out of their depression, their loneliness. So magical. It's a gift that Allah Ta'ala has given us. Sayyidina Abdullah ibn Umar radiyallahu ta'ala anhuma, he would go to the market, bazaar, not to buy or sell. He would go there just to say salam, only to afshu salam bainakum, just to spread the greetings of salam. Someone asked him that, why are you going to the market? Any bazaar is the worst of the place to go to. Out of all the pieces of land, the worst place is to go to the bazaar, the best place is the masjid. But the Sahaba Ikram, they would go there with this intention that we're only going there to say salam, to spread salam, give this gift to the people, to make dua for the people. The ulama, they mentioned that there was a child who, the story about a child who received a salam from a very elderly scholar, and he would receive that salam daily. Sometimes we think this is just a child, what do they know, what do they care? One child is narrating that I received salam from an elderly scholar every day in my life. And years later, just that salam that I used to receive from that scholar, it touched me so much that I became a student of knowledge, went on to become an alim myself. Someone asked him that, how did you become an alim, a scholar? And he said that that scholar gave me izzat and honor when no one recognized me. Others ignored me. This one scholar gave me that izzat and dignity, and that touched me so much that I ended up becoming a scholar myself. So we don't know what magic this salam can do. Salam, it plants a seed that we never see, but it's there inside the heart of that person. There is one hadith where the Prophet ﷺ said that whoever has a habit that whenever they enter their home and they say salam to their family, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will expand the risk of that person. That person comes under the guarantee, the hifazat, the protection of Allah Ta'ala. Allah Ta'ala takes upon himself this responsibility to increase the risk of that person. And this was the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. That al-Mu'mineen Aisha radiyallahu ta'ala anha, she mentions that when the Prophet ﷺ would come home, he would come with a smile on his face and he would say salam to his wife. Today it's the very opposite, that we're smiling outside in our offices. When we come home, mashallah, we say that we have an attitude, we are angry, we are tired. This is khilaf al-sunnah. We should enter with a smile, we should enter with and say salam to our family. And our family should also reply back and they should say salam. In this way, Allah Ta'ala will place barakah in that home. So this was the first point, that when we meet people, we should meet them with salam. We should initiate salam. The second prophetic quality is that when we meet others, we should be excellent in our speech. A person of Iman, this is their quality, that they choose their words very, very carefully. And if there is something which is quality, its quality is 98, they won't stick with the 98. They would want a word which is 99 out of 100. Ideally, 100 out of 100, even that level of precision. That sometimes you can convey the same message, but the different ways to convey that message. A believer, a sign of a true believer is that they choose top quality words. Number one, superior quality words, they choose ihsan. They're excellent in their speech. And this is not just with the Muslims, when you're speaking to the Muslims. In Quran, Allah Ta'ala says, وَقُولُوا لِلنَّاسِ husna, that speak to people in the best of manner. Everyone, not just Muslims alone. Qulu linnas, speak to people, even with your enemies, speak gently. We just did this. Sayyidina Musa alayhi salatu wassalam. Allah Ta'ala commanded Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam, Sayyidina Harun alayhi salatu wassalam to speak to Fir'aun and said, Faqula lahu qawlan layyina, that speak to Fir'aun with gentleness, with gentle speech. If Sayyidina Musa alayhi salatu wassalam is being commanded to speak gently with Fir'aun, then all the more we should also speak gently. What about our families? They can't be worse than Fir'aun. Subhanallah. Our students, inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. Our staff, our children, we should speak with ihsan, speak with gentleness. In one hadith, the Prophet ﷺ said that whoever believes in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the last day, they should speak good or they should remain silent. Words can either heal the heart of the other person. Words also have the potential to destroy the heart of the person. One sentence can mend a relationship. One sentence can break a relationship. It only takes one sentence. In a fit of anger, in rage, a person says 3 times, divorce. The relationship comes to an end. One has to exercise excellence in our speech. We see this in the example of Nabi alayhi salatu wassalam. He was a Bedouin, a Bedouin Arab who once came to a masjid and he urinated in the masjid, and the Sahaba, they moved quickly to stop him. And the Prophet ﷺ said that leave him, don't interrupt him, let him continue. And then later on, when he was done, Nabi ﷺ went up to him and very gently explained that this is a masjid, this is the house of Allah Ta'ala. Would you prefer if someone came to your house and did what you did here? And he said, no way. And then the Prophet ﷺ said that this place is the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Just like you don't want others to do the same thing in your home, Allah Ta'ala also doesn't like that this should be done in his home. And that person, that Bedouin, was so touched by the gentleness that he went back to his people and said to his tribe that I've never met such a man like this before, that all of you should recite the kalma, become like him. And the entire tribe accepted Islam. And this is the power of gentleness. This is the power of speech. That excellence in speech has the potential to win over the hearts of people. The whole tribe became a Muslim. Once there was a woman who spoke harshly to al-Mu'mineen Amma Aisha radiyallahu ta'ala anha. And when Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam heard about this, he advised gentleness to Aisha radiyallahu ta'ala anha and said that Aisha, Allah loves gentleness In all matters, try to become gentle. Harshness, it escalates the matter. Harshness, it repels people away from you. No one will stick with you if we are harsh in our character, if you are hard-hearted. On the other hand, if you're soft, gentle, then it's like a magnet. Other people will be attracted towards you. Imam Abu Hanifa rahmatullah alayh, he was once publicly insulted by a man. And he would repeatedly be insulted by this man every day. But one day the man did not appear. So Imam Abu Hanifa rahmatullah asked about him, that where is he? And someone said that he is ill, he is sick. So he went up to visit him, and the man was so touched by this gentleness, started crying. And said to Imam Azam rahmatullah that your character defeated my hatred. Your character, your akhlaq, it has defeated my hatred. So gentleness, this is not a weakness. Some people think this is a sign of weakness. It's actually a sign of strength. It's a sign of strength. There was an early Muslim who said that I was about to commit one sin when someone spoke gently to me, reminded me of Allah Ta'ala, ittaqullah, to be wary of Allah, be mindful of Allah. That one sentence saved me from that sin. That one sentence saved my life. Saved me from regret, from remorse. Saved my life. One kind sentence has the potential to save the life of a person. Save the destiny, the akhirat of a person. So this was the second part. Second part of this advice, that we should practice kindness, excellence in our speech. The third part of this advice is to show affection to the people of piety, to have love for the righteous people, to display that love for the righteous people. Nabi Islam said that a person is upon the deen of their close friend. We should choose friends which are pious, which are righteous, and express our love to them. This love, this is ajib, this is love for the sake of Allah, in the name of Allah, fillah, billah, lillah. And this love will be rewarded by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in such an incredible way that on the day of Qiyamah, there will be 7 categories of people who will be shaded by the arsh of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And one of them will be those 2 individuals, al-mutahabuna fillah, those who met each other for the sake of Allah, those who departed each other for the sake of Allah, and their whole relationship was in the muhabbat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They loved each other for the sake of Allah ta'ala. Allah ta'ala will shade them with His arsh on that day. In Sahih Muslim, there is a riwayat that there was a man who traveled to visit his brother for the sake of Allah ta'ala. So on the way, an angel met him and asked her, where was he going? Where are you going? And he said, I'm going to visit a brother, Ziyaratul Muslim. And he asked her, any worldly benefit? And he said, no. So just this one amal, that you're going to meet your Muslim brother for the sake of Allah, out of love for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the angel said, because of this one deed, Allah loves you as you love Him. Allah loves you as you love Him. So loving for the sake of Allah Ta'ala, this is not just social interaction. This is a spirit, this is part of our spirituality. This will help us attain ihsan in our deen. Help us come close to Allah Ta'ala. Help us become the beloved of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Hazrat Siddiq Akbar radiyallahu ta'ala an, he would start crying when he would remember his righteous Sahaba. He would say that sitting with them was a nourishment for my soul. And who is saying this? Siddiq Akbar radiyallahu ta'ala an. That sitting with my Sahaba, those righteous Sahaba who passed away, This was a nourishment for my ruh. In the heart, the ruh, it thrives in righteous company. This has been the practice of all our early Muslims, that love for the righteous, love for the pious. Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal rahmatullah, he would make dua for his teacher, for his sheikh, decades after he passed away. When his teacher sheikh passed away, decades later he would continue making dua. And someone asked him, why? Why are you making dua? He passed away. He said, he taught me how to love Allah. He taught me how to love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Imam Azam Hanifa rahmatullah, whenever he would make dua for his teacher first, then he would make dua for his parents. That they taught me how to love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They have a greater right upon me. Imam Shafi rahmatullah used to say that I'm not amongst the righteous, but I love the people of righteousness. This is also a very incredible good deed, to have love for the people of piety. Ibrahim bin Adam rahmatullah is one of the friends of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's mentioned about him that an angel came to him. He had a dream. And in the dream, he saw that the angel is writing some list of people. And he asked him, what are you writing? And he said, I'm writing down the name of those people who love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Ibrahim bin Adam rahmatullah asked that, what type of people? And he mentioned some names, like some people who were the lovers of Allah, who loved Allah ta'ala, mentioned their names. So Ibrahim bin Adam rahmatullah asked that angel, that is my name on this list as well? And the angel said, no, your name is not on this list. So Ibrahim bin Adam rahmatullah said, Acha, then when you are done compiling this list, at the end, write down this one statement that Ibrahim loves all of these people. Those people who love Allah, those people who are the lovers of Allah, Ibrahim loves all of them. Ibrahim has love for them. A few days later, again he had a dream. Again saw the angel writing something, making a list. I asked him, what are you doing? What are you writing? He said, I'm compiling the list of those whom Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves, who are the beloveds of Allah. And this time when he asked that, is my name on this list? He said, Ibrahim, your name is at the top of the list. You love the lovers of Allah. Allah loved you so much, Allah put your name at the top of his list. You are the most beloved to Allah ta'ala. So if we have love for the righteous for the sake of Allah ta'ala, this makes a person a beloved of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In one hadith, the Prophet said that man ahabba lillah wa abghaza lillah faqad istakmala iman. That whoever loves for the sake of Allah and they have enmity for the sake of Allah, they have completed their iman. They have perfected their iman. In another riwayat, wajada halabata iman. Wajada halabata iman. Those who love for the sake of Allah, they are able to experience the sweetness of their iman. Halabat, sweetness, the pleasure, the delight in iman is linked with this amal, which is to have love for the Ahlullah, love for the righteous. So this is the third piece of advice. And the fourth and the final part of this advice, how to meet people. So first is to meet people with salam, to initiate salam, and to meet them with excellence in our speech, to meet people of piety with love, with affection, with muhabba. And the last is that when you're meeting difficult people, people of shar, people of evil, you meet them with diplomacy, with tactfully, meet them tactfully. Islam does not teach us that you become naive. Islam teaches us that you have wisdom, hikmat. We're supposed to balance the truth with a bit of tact as well. I'll give you one example from the Sunnah, we'll understand. Once there was a man who wanted to enter, he sought permission to enter the home of the Prophet ﷺ. So when he sought permission to enter, the Prophet ﷺ was told that this fala person wants to enter. The Prophet ﷺ said, allow him to enter, and he is the worst of people. Nabi Islam knew about the character of that person, and he wanted people in that room to know that he's the worst of people from that particular tribe. Allow him to enter. But when that person entered, Nabi Islam treated him very nicely, very kindly, with gentleness. And then that person stayed there for some time and then he left. When he left, Ummul Mu'mineen Amma Aisha radiyallahu ta'ala anha, she asked that, Ya Rasulullah, you said that he was the worst of people, and when he came inside, you met him so nicely, with such gentleness, with such kindness. Why? And the Prophet ﷺ said that the worst people are those whom others avoid because of their foul speech. Yani, we are supposed to still deal with them with the gentleness, not stay aloof from them. Sometimes you need to interact with them. Avoid unnecessary conflict. Avoid harm. Preserve that social harmony, but at the same time, we should also have tact and diplomacy. This was not hypocrisy on the part of the Prophet ﷺ. This is diplomacy. This is that you know the hakikat of that person, and you want other people in the room to be aware, because so that they can save themselves from the shar of that person. Otherwise, if you're elevating them and you are meeting them very nicely, other people will think this person is like a scholar. They'll begin to follow him. He might be a bid'ati, he might be an innovator. So you want other people to be aware of the shar that is inside that person. And that's why the Prophet ﷺ mentioned to everyone in the room, so this person is bad. Whatever the nature of badness or evil was or shar was, but the people were told first. But then when that person came, Nabi Islam met with gentleness, with kindness. This is akhlaq. This is decent. This is decency. This is what the Quran teaches us. That idfa billati hiya ahsan. That you repel evil with goodness. You repel evil with kindness. If you do so, then the Quran is saying this good akhlaq and good character has the potential to turn even your enemy into your close friend. And there are so many stories. Hinda, she was the enemy of the Prophet ﷺ. On the Battle of Uhud, she hired someone to martyr Sayyidina Hamza radiyallahu ta'ala an, and then she chewed on the organs of Sayyidina Hamza radiyallahu ta'ala an, made it into a necklace and put it around her neck. And that level of animosity, hatred, hostility. And then when Fatah Makkah, conquest of Makkah Mukarramah took place, Hazrat Hinda radiyallahu ta'ala anha, she came, she met the Prophet ﷺ, and she announced publicly, she recited the kalima, became a Muslim, and then said that before today, out of all the tents of Arabia, Ya Rasulullah, I used to hate your tent the most. And now I publicly announce in front of everyone that among all the tents of Arabia, I love your tent the most. This is how good akhlaq and good character can completely flip and transform the heart of a person. That someone who is such a die-hard enemy becomes such a close friend. A woman, she used to throw garbage in the path of the Prophet ﷺ. You know the famous story. And one day she stopped. Someone asked, the Prophet asked about her and learned that she was ill, and visited her, paid her a sick visit, and she accepted Islam. So kindness can win over the hearts of a person. So In summary, then, this is a very profound, a very deep advice, something which all of us need today. We're living in such an age where people have suspicions about each other, people have hostility towards each other, family politics, community politics, and the Sunnah is teaching us that when you begin, when you meet the other person, you begin with a dua. You begin with a salam. You begin by giving them the gift of salam. And when you continue your conversation, you speak with beauty. You speak with excellence. You speak in the best of ways. And if the other person happens to be a righteous individual, not only do you speak well and beautifully, but you love them. You show affection to them. You display, you do izhar-e muhabbat. You express your love and affection towards them, but at the same time, the Sunnah also teaches us that we are supposed to be diplomatic, be intelligent, and be tactful when you're dealing with people of shar, with difficult people. So practically, how can we implement this in our life? First thing is very simple. We need to revive salam. We should be the first to say salam and say salam multiple times. Sahaba, they would say salam every time they would meet each other, they would say salam. They would be traveling and there would be like a tree that would come in between. And then again, they would meet each other, they would say salam to each other. Say salam to our family, our work, employees, colleagues, children, everyone. And say salam to strangers, those whom we know and those whom we don't know. And second is we need to beautify our speech. Think before we speak. We should eliminate the harshness in our words. We should pause before we respond, especially if we're angry. If you're already hyped up, we should pause, think, weigh our words, and then we should speak. And we should also make dua for people when we're speaking to them. And practically, third piece of advice is to stay connected with the people of taqwa. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu ittaqullah wa kunu ma'as sadiqin. Attach yourself with the people of siddiq, with the people who are better than us in the relationship with Allah. Express our love to them openly, our appreciation to them openly. Meet them for the sake of Allah openly. Love them for the sake of Allah. Make dua for them for the sake of Allah. Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal rahmatullah alayh, decades later, still making dua for his Shaykh. Why? Because he taught me how to love Allah, truly. Someone who is becoming a means for us to attain Allah, to attain the muhabbat of Allah, how much love should we have for this person? That they are a means for us to get this incredible ni'mat of the love for Allah Ta'ala. We should have muhabbat for them as well. And lastly, that when dealing with difficult people, avoid as much as possible unnecessary confrontation, unnecessary meeting such difficult people. But if there is an interaction, if there is a conversation, then we should maintain our calmness, our gentleness, our composure. Speak calmly, speak clearly, protect our dignity, and choose a silence, which is the best weapon. Choose silence wherever it's beneficial. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give all of us the tawfiq that we can act upon this. On the day of Qiyamah, we will be taken to account for all of these things. If we can practice these teachings, then inshallah we can hope that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will gaze upon us on that day. And maybe someone would say that, Ya Allah, allow this person to enter into Jannah because they greeted me with salam. Someone might say, Ya Allah, allow this person to enter into Jannah because they spoke gently to me when my heart was broken. Someone might say that, Ya Allah, allow this person to enter into Jannah. They loved the righteous people. They had muhabbat for the righteous. Someone might say, Allah, allow this person to enter into Jannah. I was very harsh with them, but they repelled and responded to my harshness with kindness. Small interactions, the way we meet other people, these small amal, these small deeds can become a way for us to enter into Jannah. We make dua that may Allah Ta'ala make us people of salam. We can spread this teaching of salam. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make our tongues sweet and beautiful and full of ihsan. May Allah Ta'ala fill our hearts with muhabba for the righteous. And may Allah Ta'ala give us the wisdom and the hikmat and the diplomacy in dealing with those people who are difficult people. May Allah Ta'ala grant us these sunnahs in our life as well. وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين. I'll make dua. سبحان ربي العلي الوهاب اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم. ربنا ظلمنا أنفسنا وإن لم تغفر لنا وترحمنا لنكونن من الخاسرين. ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب. اللهم إنا نسألك من خير ما سألك منه عبدك ونبيك محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم ونعوذ بك من شر ما استعاذك منه عبدك ونبيك محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وأنت المستعان وعليك البلاغ لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. اللهم إنا نسألك إيمانا كاملا ويقينا صادقا ورزقا واسعا وقلبا خاشعا ولسانا ذاكرا ورزقا حلالا طيبا وتوبة قبل الموت وراحة عند الموت ومغفرة ورحمة بعد الموت والعفو عند الحساب والفوز بالجنة والنجاة من النار برحمتك يا عزيز يا غفار. رب زدني علما والحكم بالصالحين. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم. وصلى الله تعالى على حبيبه خير خلقه محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. آمين برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين.